Okay, let's talk about the myth of codependence in relationships with pathological partners like narcissists or psychopaths. This is something I discuss with all of my clients, and I've been asked to make a video on it. The term codependent was actually taken from the language of addiction, and it's used to describe someone who enables a partner with a substance abuse issue. This word has honestly been misused more than the term narcissist. People say everyone's a narcissist. Everyone's a codependent. The reality is that human beings are wired for healthy interdependence. And unfortunately, our society at the moment is going in this direction of pathologizing, relying on other people, or having dependence, or prioritizing relationships, which is something that we are actually biologically and evolutionarily programmed to do. The term codependent is not even in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. It is massively misused in pop psychology. And the reality is that when you look at a relationship with a pathological narcissist, psychopath, or similar personality, these people cultivate dependency and desperation. And this is a state that this kind of narcissistic abuse induces in a person. And it's wrong to label the victim as codependent or blame the victim in any way when the reality is that they're having a normal reaction to this type of abuse. It does not mean that they're codependent. And it certainly does not mean that the victim is enabling the abuse in any way, shape, or form, which is what using the term codependent in its correct usage implies. Abuse is not a collaboration. Abuse is not something that you allow. Abuse is not something that you enable. These relationships are incredibly difficult to leave. And when you are being isolated, controlled, manipulated, coerced, abused, and are so gaslit and confused that you can't think your way out of it, that doesn't mean that you're enabling it by staying. If someone kidnaps you and holds you hostage, that doesn't mean that you are enabling that process, which is essentially what happens in these relationships. Through a series of manipulations and psychological and emotional abuse that actually cripples victims and causes this almost permanent freeze state or state of dissociation where they literally cannot think their way out or escape. So if someone tries to tell you that you're codependent for being in this relationship, they don't know what they're talking about. It's not appropriate to label victims of these type of pathological partners as codependent. These personalities cultivate desperation and dependency. It's not the same thing.